Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Mug.
Hello, good evening to all.
Welcome to Tranquility.
The heart is a vital function of our body. It plays a very important role. It purifies the blood, regulates the oxygen level, helps remove the toxins and the residues of the body. It gives the nutrition to us through the blood that it pumps. But tell me, do you think that's all? Is that what heart can only do?
What makes us human? Tell me, is it our ability to love, to think, to have hope, or something more?
See, I would say apparently all the qualities that will arise, love, compassion, tolerance, all the essence of it should come from the heart. And actually, it is the heart which makes us human.
On most occasions, our thoughts and actions go beyond the rationale premise of the thinking mind. We act based on what we feel. These feelings emanate out of our hearts, radiating like a sunlight pouring out love, which is our divine essence.
For me, heart matters the most. It is the heart which makes me pause, feel and love what I do and how I do.
It isn't the care I have for people, nature and other things. Actually, now that I think of it, it's what makes me love and care for myself.
The trained heart knows. We are very certain sometimes of the truth of something. Deep down, we know. So I would call that a trained heart, a confident heart.
To attain a level of consciousness that is beyond the limitation of the mind. Life has become more demanding, fast-paced, stressful, ambiguous and chaotic that people are compelled to seek value-oriented life and means of attaining personal stability from within. They have come to realize that conscious living is the only source that can sustain their adaptation and stability in the long run. Heartfulness helps to bring meaning to our life.
How much do we trust our hearts? These days, honestly, are we confident and do we have a loving heart? Are we truly listening to our heart?
Yes, I try to do that. I cherish the feelings of love, hate, pleasure, pain. I'm a heartful person. What will be the life without it?
Actually, we have forgotten to listen to our hearts, so we are always constantly in the roller coaster of our mind.
Do I try to listen to my heart? Well, sometimes. Some of the decisions which I make in aggression or which are reactive, I always feel disappointed with those decisions. But some decisions which I strongly feel about them, which come from the heart, I feel I'm content with those decisions.
I would say all the fear, all the angers, all the insecurity only arise from the weak heart. If you will be able to measure all the anger which comes from us, it's because the heart is not tuned in the right way. And we feel insecure, we feel scared because the heart is weak.
But these days, it seems we've come to a stage where we hate ourselves. And that hate, we are just throwing it out into the nature, disliking the people. And I think we've created prejudices, corruption, violence, and what not.
But we should ask ourselves, what is the reason of it? What is the base of all of that? Maybe we should see we didn't cultivate that kindness, that love in that heart. First, I would say for ourselves, and then project it to the world. And I would say that might be the reason for it.
Could be.
The data compiled by the World Resources Institute reveals that the planet has already lost 80% of its forest cover to deforestation. And going by the alarming rate at which trees are being cut, it won't take much time for that figure to reach the 100%. Atmospheric carbon dioxide is accelerating upward from decade to decade. Research suggests that for the past 10 years, 2005 to 2014, the average annual rate of increase is 2.11 parts per million. This rate of increase is more than double the increase in the 1960s. A US survey suggests that the official crime rate in the US has more than tripled in the last decade. Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Mug. Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Mug.
Our minds and hearts are just not synchronized. What the heart says, the mind just does not want to follow it.
Actually, the other day, I really needed to sleep. My heart says, it's the time, rest. But you know, the active mind. What happened? The conflict. That is what we should start to regulate.
Externally, we might not be creating any violence, destruction. But if internally we are seething with hatred, negativities, anger, harboring horrible thoughts, what's the point?
That makes me think what to do. The only way is to be able to synchronize the mind and the heart together. Then there is no conflict.
The mind is a wonderful tool for human evolution. But I guess it has to be guided in the right direction. The destination needs to be right. Who will give the right direction to the mind? I guess it has to be the heart.
I think if the mind is not backed with your heart, it can create a lot of havoc in your life. I mean, it can cause a lot of destruction. I mean, if you look back and see, I mean, the news of the kind of havoc things, I mean, the havoc been going on. There can be war, mass destructions, you know, weapons being manufactured to destroy human mind. So I think until unless you are not connected from your mind and your heart together, and which is possible through meditation, this will continue to be there. There will be no love and there will be more hatred among people, because there's nobody actually looking from the heart point of view, it's only in the mind.
Heartfulness is needed. We need heart in this world. That's what's missing. It's time.
That's your like inner conscience. If when you're going to do something, it has to feel right. And it has to feel right in your heart.
Whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's professional life, I think the heart is at the center stage, in all honesty, of what matters.
Balance, more light,
Total well-being.
closer to God.
Adventure and a rhythm that you get into and feel and explore, and then once you come out the other end, you say, this is not too bad at all.
Both the mind and the heart have to be taken care of. They both have to be in agreement, synchronized, no conflict.
But I would say, unlike the mind, the heart is not conditioned. The mind might be wrong based on the experience, based on what he thinks, but the heart is unlimited. And that's where we have to look at. Unlike the mind, the heart is not conditioned by time and space. He has no limitation. He can see things, feel things from the higher ground. That's why the heart can never be wrong.
So many times the heart feels so deeply about something and the mind is not in agreement with it. I guess that's the confident heart. You know, these days I have come to that stage, or there is a time in my life now where I need to make an important decision. And my mind is saying something else, but in my heart I'm feeling so strongly about the decision I should be taking. So I'm just going ahead with that.
What a decision is.
Not on the show. Another time.
Oh, now you're trying to live by your heart. Tell me, wouldn't it be ideal that we will lead our life always to live by our hearts?
And in the beginning, there's maybe a bit of a fear of this dilution, but if I let it go, in fact, losing one's being is probably the most beautiful thing that a being can do. And I get addicted to that.
When I'm inside and observing myself from inside, I have the feeling the thoughts come more clear and more precise. So from inside there is a space where the answer is just reachable very easily.
I can go into my daily life. I don't breathe over my problems. I feel this is kind of a better access to my life.
It is for me diving into the heart, finding a place that it's not only quiet, it's expanded. The reality of the heart seems to be boundless, limitless, and it seems to induce a feeling of peace and calmness.
I think I'm a divine being, as every other being on this planet is as well. It's great to feel that more and more, and also this comes out through meditation. The connection between all beings, and it's really nice because it makes everyday life so much more beautiful when you feel that connection towards everybody.
Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Magh.
The heart, when you say the heart of things, it means the center of things. When you say heart of the matter, it means the essence. On the physical body, the heart is the pumping station that pumps blood through the veins to all the cells in our body. Now, when the blood or the heart is purified through meditation, cleaning, and constant remembrance, then gradually your cells will be purified, your whole existence will be purified.
The right way to live a meaningful and enriched life is to live by the heart. I mean, it is the heart that sets us apart from the robots and the machines.
Yes, actually, we met few interesting people who live by the heart. Let us listen to their interesting tales. That's when the problem arises, when the mind and the heart, they flow in a different direction. And that's why we should live by the heart. The heart fix the destination, the mind plan the journey.
Become more calmer person, and I'm happier, I'm more grounded, and I'm enjoying simple things in life, which is amazing.
When I do my meditation, I notice a difference in the way I am in life, how I react to things. So I'm not as reactive maybe, and yeah, everything seems to run a bit more smoothly.
What I have observed is an interesting change has come over in the past few months when I'm training my colleagues, when I'm training my fellow people. There is a difference in teaching from the mind and teaching from the heart. When I'm trying to teach mentally, it's the knowledge and understanding is often too complex and inaccessible. Whereas when I'm teaching from my heart, I can integrate my understanding into a more accessible and in a way that can touch people. And I don't really have to think all the time. I can just close my eyes and center myself and then open myself in a way which can touch people easily.
The mind is actually the best instrument that we have if used properly. And the mind is often misunderstood, and we think that we are trying to fight the mind. And in meditation, if we are struggling with the mind, it's not effective. In fact, we'll get tired and sometimes we get a headache. So how do we use the mind so that it is an instrument, for our upliftment? And what's the role of the mind and the heart? At one level, they're all part of the same self. And you don't need to distinguish between where the mind is and where the heart is, because we're not talking about physical organs. At another level, it's like the clutch and the gas of a car. And you have to learn the balance between the two. So the mind is kind of like a torch, which points the way. And then the heart gives us the ability to move in that direction. So let's say that I want to understand something. I should be able to place my mind on that subject and let it rest. And by meditating on that, revelations can be provided, which come through, you can say through the heart, but comes through a higher source than the mind.
True. Wouldn't it be great if we open our hearts more? We could learn to love more, be more compassionate, be more understanding towards others and ourselves.
It's important then to have the heart and the mind unified. But how to do that?
By cultivating a heart capable of right intent and pure action, and regulating the mind to help it achieve what it wants to achieve.
Mind by nature is negative. It only thinks negative thoughts. I guess it is heart that brings me to life.
For those who do a serious meditation practice, there is no separation, there is no difference between heart and mind. It's a continuum. They form a vibrational field of what we call the subtle body in a yogic practice. And again, modern science is starting to really appreciate the nature of the vibrational field of the human being. Sometimes it's called the electromagnetic field or the aura. Different terms are used, but it's very much a part of us that is not the physical body. And if we look at the mind in meditation, we do regulate, we do train the mind, because otherwise our mind is used to wandering off, thinking about all sorts of things, getting caught up in reactions, emotional responses, etc. And meditation is a very, very good tool for learning how to regulate the mind and clear the clutter. But when it comes to the heart, I don't think the heart can be trained. The heart is the center of our being, which has to be uncovered. And that process is not a process of training, it's a process of purification, of removing the veils, the layers of all the impressions that we've accumulated over a lifetime, maybe many lifetimes. So we get to the purity of the heart. And once that is there, then the relationship, this field of heart-mind, becomes very obvious. And then the heart can guide, and the mind is able to make choices and decisions in daily life.
By living by the heart, moment by moment, in the present time, by tuning the mind into the heart, and ultimately meditating on the heart.
Meditation on the heart. Reminds me of our next episode, in which we shall discuss in depth about heartfulness meditation.
Till next week, be well
and live by your heart.
Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Magh.